Bonjour, everybody.
I sent a request to Rony, sorry. There it goes.
Hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. It was an awesome Saturday.
Yep. So nice to see you today.
Well, thank you likewise.
What's the weather like where you are?
Actually, it's pretty cool. It feels like it's probably maybe like around like 60 degrees, maybe. I mean, like 65.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yes, definitely. How's the weather where you at?
In the 80s.
Uh,
So the good thing about being in Florida, it's summer all year round.
yeah, exactly. I mean, until like you get hurricane or thunderstorm season, then it's like everybody panic.
Some people panic, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
But
I got some peoples in Florida. They love it down there.
yeah, I love it too. I moved down here like 5 years ago and I love it.
Mm. That's cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out this summer though, or next summer.
Sounds like a plan to me. Are you ready to get started?
Yeah, definitely ready to give some juice, some gems, some free ebooks giveaway, give them some life-changing information. Just ready to make an impact.
Sounds great. So I think we're gonna start by letting you introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ronnie François, the Credit Hero. I'm also the Executive Director of François Solution LLC. Basically, I help people repair their credit, rebuild their credit. So there's a little difference between me and the other 20 million people that do what I do. One of the biggest differences, I provide tools and knowledge how to maintain that good credit. Because anybody could probably, get some off your credit report, but they're going to give you the tools and the knowledge that way you can share with your family, with your household. That way you don't make the same mistake twice. And that's the biggest difference. I provide the tools and knowledge and information. And that's what people need. A lot of people just need this information.
Yeah, most definitely. I will proceed with introducing myself and then we can talk more because I think you and I have a very common goal of helping people with their finances. So let me introduce myself, then we'll get more into that. So, bonjour everyone. I am France Macabou Gordon. I was born and raised in Paris, France, from a low socio-economical background. At 11 years old, I started my track and field career that gave me the opportunity to come study in the US on a full athletic scholarship. So I went to Middle Tennessee State for my undergrad. I joined a sorority named Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Then I went to Western Kentucky for my grad school and I managed to graduate in just 1 year. Right now, I'm doing my PhD at Kaiser University. And when I'm not studying, I am a wife, I am a mom, and I am a real estate agent. I help people buy homes, sell homes, and I have a Homebuyers University, a free online Homebuyers University. In it, you have resources on how to buy a home, of course, how to fix your finances, how to improve your credit, and once you get a house, how to maintain your house, how to pay off your mortgage faster. So the link to my free home buying university is in my bio. So everybody, hopefully, enroll today. So Rony, you help people improve their credit scores and maintain it.
Yes.
One thing I see in my field is that people have they want to be home buyers really bad, but the biggest hurdle is always the credit. They don't have the credit
Yes.
they need to get the financing that they want to buy the home. So tell us more about that. How did you get started into credit building?
Well, I got into the industry because at one time I had bad credit. It was so bad. I used to hope somebody would steal my identity. That's how bad it was.
Ooh.
But we all know when it's that bad, nobody's gonna steal it. And after a lot of trials, errors, and mistakes, I was able to get to the point where I need to get. And I was like, there's probably other people that need this information. So, and that's when I started. I was actually doing it for free. People would reach out to me, I give them the packets, the information. So I'm like, well, hold up, I could actually get paid for doing this. But I didn't just want to get paid just for fixing people credit. I also wanted to provide more resources and tools and knowledge out there. So that's when I started writing books. I think I got like 3 books on Amazon, credit and financial literacy, because I realized that the school system is not educating us. The bank's not doing it. So I'm like, somebody got to do it. And that's when I got into it because I saw there was a need for it. And then I saw there was an opportunity to make a positive impact. And of course, making some money is cool too. But really the thing was getting that information out there to people. And I've given hundreds and probably thousands of free ebooks away. I've given hundreds of autographed books away because I don't want people to say I have bad credit because I don't have the information. So now everybody's tapping in, like you can get the information. So that's what really got me into it. I saw there was a need for it, and that's how I got into it. And that's what I've been doing ever since then. So I've done speaking events from the East Coast to the West Coast. I've been on TV a couple of times, got a podcast, ton of magazine features. So this is not just something I started like overnight. This is something I've been doing for years and years.
Amazing. Rony, what's your podcast name?
Oh, the Credit Lab podcast.
The Credit Lab podcast. I need to check you guys out.
Thank you.
Okay, let me see in the questions of the live if there are any questions. Okay, there are no questions in the live yet, but guys, if you have any questions, feel free to interact with us. There is a special section for questions, but if you leave it in the comments, I'm keeping an eye on it also. So we did have a dozen questions that were sent to us throughout the week. So we can go through this list here to get us started, and then we'll keep an eye on the chat, like I said. So the first question, what are some credit tips for building credit? Rony, I will let you answer that one.
The first thing is actually looking at your credit report, because most people don't know what's on the credit report. They just ignore it, they hide from it. You actually have to look at it. And the second thing is once you look at it, you kind of see what do you have on there, what do you need to add on it. So the easiest way to add positive credit on your credit report or to see increase is actually pay your bills on time. That's 35% of your credit, your score. So you pay your bills on time, and then whatever credit card you have, you want to keep your balance under 30%. So you do those two things first. And then when it comes to adding credit, when adding positive credit, one of the easiest things you can do is go be on authorized using somebody else's credit card. Let's say you have a significant other, a family member, and they got awesome to amazing credit. They'll add you on as an authorized user. So that's one of the ways of doing it. Another one is adding a credit builder like Credit Strong, Self-Lender, Kickoff. These are things known as installment loans. You can add those on. You don't have to have no credit. They don't run your credit, so you can do those things. And then the other thing you can actually do, you can actually get my book, my ebook. It's called a Personal Credit Builder. It actually gives you tools and tips on how to build positive credit. And if anybody needs that credit builder ebook, I'll provide that to you for free to anybody that's watching this live or watching the replay. If you need to build positive credit, just tap in or inbox or DM Personal Credit Builder, and you'll get that for free.
Very good. I think in the last few months, I think the last 3 months, I was invited to 2 universities to give a financial literacy lecture, and I actually talked about those things. I think one of my presentations was like 8 steps to take to boost your credit in 2023, and the students had really liked that. Some of them really just had no idea where to start. And which takes us to our next question. How can we help our kids build credit? And I'm gonna let you answer that one as well.
So the easiest way to help you build your kids build positive credit is to add them on authorized user. And the thing is, they don't necessarily have to be your kid. It can be like your niece, your nephew, your cousin. You can actually just add them on as authorized user. You can do it as early as the age of 13. You basically call your credit card company or credit card carrier saying, look, I want to add, such and such one as an authorized user. And, they're going to get some general information about that person, probably like their birthdays, maybe like social security number, the address, case might be. And as you pay your bills, as you build your credit, their credit is going to go up. But see, the flip side is anything positive you do is going to have a positive impact. Anything negative you do is going to have negative impact. So you have to make sure the credit card that you're putting them on is one of your best credit card, perfect payment history, the one you always keep low balance on, because they'll help build. Let's just say you put somebody on there, they're in the ninth grade, and you don't even give them the credit card. You just continue doing what you're doing. By the time they get into like 11th, 12th grade, they can have a 650, 700 credit score, all because you add them on as an authorized user. So that's one of the easiest way to help your kids or younger generation build positive credit.
And I have a almost 5-year-old daughter. And as soon as I got a social security number, I added her as an authorized user. Some banks like Capital One and Bank of America, they let you add on minors onto your credit cards.
Yeah.
So I have her on there. So that is exciting. Moving on to the next question. Let me check the chat real quick. Guys, don't be so shy. You can ask us questions, okay? We're here for you. Third question. Can you share some practical tips for budgeting and saving money?
Sure. So I think the mistake that a lot of people make that want to save money, they wait till they say, look, I'm gonna start waiting till I make more money to start saving. I'm gonna wait till I make X amount of dollars to start saving. No, you don't have to wait till you get a certain amount. You can start saving like today or tomorrow, whether it's $1 a week or $20 a week or $50. The thing is just to get started. And I think the mistake that most people make, they try to wait for a perfect time. There's never no perfect time to really save, to be honest with you. You just have to start. And I think that's the biggest key when it comes to saving. Of course, you want to have a certain amount. You want to have like 6 months saved up. You want to have a certain goal. But the biggest thing for most people is just getting started.
That's really good advice, because you're right. You don't have to wait until $10,000 fall from the sky. You can start at $100 a week, and that adds up. That adds up really quickly. For budgeting and saving, one thing I do is that I send some money automatically to my savings account.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I'm not even actively doing it, just passively. It's on auto and goes straight to the savings account. That's one thing. That's one tool I use. Next question. Oops. Computer went to sleep. Question number 4. How can individuals start investing, especially in real estate, to build wealth? Ooh, I guess that's a question for me.
Yes.
How can people start investing, especially in real estate, to build wealth? So the easiest thing to do is first get started by getting your primary residence. You get in it, live in there for, depending on what loan program you've used, you might have to live in there for at least a year, and then you move on to another property, and that primary residence, you can turn it into an investment property, which is actually exactly what I did. I bought my first home right out of college. I think I was probably 27 years old. I was only making $36,000 a year, and I bought my first home, lived in there for about a year, and then I put tenants in it, and I moved somewhere else. So that was my first investment property. And when you're using a loan program such as FHA, you only have to put 3.5% down. So you're getting in with a really low amount out of pocket. And depending on what your finances look like, instead of buying just one home, you can buy a duplex. You live in one side and you rent out the other side. So that's the question. Yeah, that's how individuals can start investing in real estate to build wealth. What do you think about that, Rony?
I totally agree. Another thing people need to do, they also need to like study and do research too, because a lot of time, especially with real estate, you're gonna come across a lot of gurus and people that are experts, whatever the case might be. And you want to study that person. You want to make sure the person's legit, because I think a lot of people, a lot of investors, they'll make the numbers sound perfect or make the numbers sound really good. And next thing you're giving like $3, 4, 5, 6, 7, $800,000 investing into like a Ponzi scheme. So I think it's important to do your research on whoever you're working with.
No, yeah, for sure. There is so much noise, especially on social media. Every 5 seconds,
Mhm.
I always see advertisements for all these gurus. They're just like, yeah, start investing with me, blah, blah, blah. That's a lot. Like you said, do your research on those individuals, try to see what are their credentials and what they have actually done. A lot of people inflate what they've been doing just to seduce you. So you have to be very careful. Next question. What are some common mistakes that people make with their finances that hinders their success?
I could start if you want. You want to start?
You can start because the way I would go with this is their credit score.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the credit score is very, very important. Another thing too, I think a lot of people when it comes to like getting relationships, they get in relationships before before they get their credit, before they get their finance in order. And I mean, we're all young, we all have been there, but I think before you start looking for love or look for marriage, work on getting your finance right. And because finance is one of the biggest things that people argue when they get relationships about. So that'd be like the first step. Before you get in a relationship, get your finance right.
Get your finances right and uh, keep your credit score right. Because a lot of people,
Exactly.
unfortunately, after they graduate and they have that first job, they want a nice car. They go and get a nice car. The car note is high. Sometimes they can't really keep up with it. Sometimes it takes a lot of their liability. And when they decide to get in a relationship and go buy a home, they already have these huge car notes that's taking up all their buying power. So I consider it to be a common mistake because I see it way too often. All those people come to me, they're just like, oh, I only have one bill. It's just my student loan. But that debt is huge. Or sometimes it's like, oh, I just have my student loan and my car note. Yeah, you only have two things, but those two things, they take all your buying power. You cannot buy a house right now. So
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, unless you plan on living in that car, I mean, but
that's an excellent point. Okay, next question. Can you provide advice on improving credit scores and the importance of good credit?
again, I can start with that one. So the best way to improve your credit score is to focus on two of the five components. Because the five components are your payment history, your credit utilization, credit mix, credit profile, and new credit. But the two most important ones, your payment history, that's 35% of credit score, and your credit utilization is 30%. So that's 65% of your score right there. You focus on those two things, like never, ever, ever, ever miss a payment. But like I said, you have one late payment, your score could drop anywhere between like 30 to 70 points right there off the muscle. So even if you got to put your bills on auto pay, you never ever want to miss a payment. And your credit utilization, yes, they recommend you keep your balance at 30%. But I guarantee you, anybody only they can try, if they don't take my word for it, you can say you're paying your bills on time and you take your credit utilization down to 20%, 10%, or single digits, your score is going to go up. Now, that depends on if you have a lot of negative items in credit score. So if you have a lot of negative items, it's only going to go up by so much. But if you have little to no negative items, continue paying your bills on time, take your credit utilization to single digits, your score has to go up. So that is the biggest way to raise your score.
Paying your bills on time. Yep.
Yes, I know I keep hammering on that. I mean, that's just one of the biggest factors because people miss that. Yes, it's possible to remove late payments, but like I said, you're going to lose anywhere between like 30 to 70 points just from one late payment.
Yeah, and I don't know if you tell your clients that, but if you miss the payment and it's your first time ever, try to reach out to the creditor and see if they can work with you, because if you've had excellent payment history and you just missed the payment, you can still talk to them, and most of the time they will waive the fee and they'll make it right for you on your credit report. Have you ever experienced that, Rony?
Yeah, so it is possible. It really depends on the company. Some companies they kind of frown upon it. If you have a late payment, they'll remove it, but they're not gonna make it easy to remove it. But I would say is, one of the best advice I give, like if you think you about to be late, you think you might be late, you think it's a possibility, reach out to your credit. Say, hey, look, this happened, that happened. I might be late. I could be late. Most of the time, they will give you an extension if you think you might be late. So that's the very first thing. If you reach out to avoid that lateness, but if you do get that lateness, if you have been a good client, you can't reach out to them, reach out to the CEO or the executive department, or you can send a goodwill letter. Basically, a goodwill letter saying, "Hey, look, I'm a very good customer. You know, this happened, that happened. I promise not to be late ever again. Please update this late payment to current on my credit report." And sometimes they will do it, but the whole point is to avoid late payment at all costs if possible.
To begin with, yeah, that way you're safe. Next question. As a real estate agent, what strategies do you recommend for property investment? I guess that goes back to the question I answered earlier. Get your primary residence, live in there for a little bit, move on to another property, and use that first property as an investment property. Or if your finances look right enough, get yourself a duplex, live in one, rent out the other one, do that for about a year, move on to the next one.
That makes sense.
Yes, sir. So next question. How can someone effectively plan for retirement and long-term financial security?
Well, yeah, you can start with that if you want, and I'll just take it back off to you. Where do you want me to start?
Retirement is really one of those things where you have to look at your personal finance and see what are your goals and what you can do with what you have. For me, for example, I work a 1099 job, if I can call it that, because I'm my own business. So I'm not seeking traditional retirement plans like 401k, IRA, things like that. For now, the bulk of my retirement strategy is to buy as many investment properties as possible and just live off of my rental income. Yes, I'm diversifying a little bit. I have some money on the stock market and stuff, but I'm not following the traditional retirement plan where you're putting all your money in a 401k and hope that you're going to be at $1 million by the time you retire. So that's my perspective. What do you think, Rony?
Yeah, it do make sense. Like you said, it's a case-by-case situation because everybody goes is different. You know, the thing is, you know, the goal is to sit down with a financial expert or a financial advisor, and you know, map out where you are, where you want to get, and the best route to get there. Because there's no one solution for everybody. Everybody's situation is different. The goal is sit down with an advisor, figure out where you at, where you want to get, and the best route to get there. Because there's so many different options these days. Because you know, a long time ago, all you pretty much had was like your 401k, maybe some investment. Now there's like a million different ways you can set yourself up properly. But then it goes back to what I said earlier. It's about doing your research, about doing your studying, about who you want to work with and the best route to take.
Yes, sir. We have one question that came into the live. Let me read it to you. How can I negotiate a lower interest rate with my credit card company?
So the best thing you want to do is you want to actually reach out to them or look online, see what the criteria are. That's what you want to see, what are the criteria. And the second thing you want to look at your credit profile. See if you have, because one thing they're going to look at, your credit profile. They're going to look at your payment history with that company, and they're going to look at what type of negative item you have on your credit report. So maybe when you first got that loan, you had excellent credit, but now fast forward 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, they might have some other charge-offs, some collections, some late fees. So first, you want to clear your credit profile, anything negative that you might have on there. And then number two, you want to reach out to them. You want to say, hey, what are the qualifications? Because they might say, hey, look, your credit score got to be X, Y, Z, or you can't have this, you can't have that on there. That way, you know for sure if you even qualify. That way, you're not even wasting your time. Because a lot of times, when we refinance or when the credit limit increase, these companies they'll run your credit report. Now you're gonna have a hard inquiry. You're still gonna get denied with whatever you're trying to get. So you want to clean up your credit profile and then reach out to them and ask them what are the qualifications. That way, you're not wasting your time and you're not getting an unnecessary hard inquiry.
Have you had any success stories with people calling their creditors and being able to negotiate a lower interest rate? when it comes to credit cards?
Yeah, I mean, because there's been time where I call my credit card companies. I say, look, what are the qualifications for credit limit increase? What are the qualifications for a lower interest rate? And they'll usually tell you exactly what you have to do. So again, it's just about they're gonna look at your credit profile. If they tell you, hey, the credit score minimum is 750 and you're at 745, you know there's a good chance you're not gonna get approved. So that's why the first thing is clean your credit profile. Second thing is reaching out to them and asking what are the criteria.
Very good. Very good. Next question I have on the list of the questions that were submitted to us is, are there specific tools or apps that you recommend for managing personal finance?
Yeah, so again, it really depends on what your goal, what you're trying to do. Let's say you're just trying to build positive credit, right? So if you want to build positive credit, there's positive credit building tools out there. If you want to eliminate, debt, there's certain tools that's for that. So it really depends on what exactly you're trying to do, because I'm guaranteeing whatever you're trying to do, there's a tool, there's a software out there for it. But then it goes back again to, like I keep saying, doing your research, studying, make sure there's proof that it actually works. Because there's a lot of things out there on the internet that's going to claim that they do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. You want to study it before you sign up for them.
At one of the speaking engagements I had at a local university, I had went to Florida Atlantic University, and one of the students had asked the same question. And what I had done that day is I had asked the whole classroom, so what are some tools that you guys use to help you manage your personal finance? And on top of my head, I tried to look in my notes to see if I can find what exactly they had mentioned, but I know that some people mentioned Mint. It's an app where you can go and track your spending. I know a lot of them had just mentioned their banking apps, and they would just go on there to see how much they have spent here and there. Some people were also using Intuit. I'm not so familiar with Intuit, but I know that I use QuickBooks, and I guess they're somewhat connected. For my business finances, I'm able to log on there and see how much I spend on my vehicle maintenance, on my utilities, phone bill, things like that. So I'm thinking it's probably similar, where people can track how much they spent on their fast food, groceries, and be able to make financial decisions based on that. Do you use any apps like that?
I'm trying to think. No, actually, to be honest with you, I don't use any apps like that. But I do write down what I use and also keep a mental notation of it. So I'm pretty routine on what I spend the money on. So I don't use any of those apps. And then also too, a lot of those apps, what they do is like they'll offer you free services, but then they'll collect your information, then they'll sell it to third party, and you'll get like a lot of special offers from different vendors. But Intuit is really good, and QuickBooks are some of the business tools that I do recommend though.
Another thing I do for my personal finance, it's not an app, it's my Excel spreadsheet. I talk about it all the time. I'm very, I got a master's degree, so I'm really about my spreadsheet. I have on there my mortgage, telephone, college tuition for my daughter, college tuition for me. All my expenses are listed on there, and I use that to also keep track of my payments to make sure I don't have any late payments. I have all the money coming in, all the money going out, everything is on my spreadsheet. And usually when people book a one-on-one video consultation with me and they want to talk about their financial goals for real estate, one of the first things we do is, what's your spreadsheet looking like? And if they don't have one, we get started on that. So I'm not really with the apps, but I can definitely get you going on a spreadsheet.
Yeah, that's definitely good.
Okay, so next question. What advice do you have for someone looking to start their own business and achieve financial independence?
So one of the best things you can do before you start a new business if you think you're going to need any type of funding for your business, you want to have your personal credit in order. So I know the reason I say that. So I know most people will say, well, personal credit, business credit are two separate things. You're right, there are two separate things. But when you first start any business, with most people, they're not going to make $1 million overnight. They need some working capital. So when you go to the bank, say, hey, look, Mr. Bank, Mr. Wells Fargo, Mr. Bank of America, whatever the case might be, I need $50,000. You know, they're going to look at your business plan or business criteria. Everything's going to be in perfect order. But then they're going to look at your business like, well, you haven't started making any money yet. You know, there's no collateral. So that's when they're going to look at your personal credit. So if your personal credit is good, it was excellent, it's perfect, they're not going to have no problem giving you that $50,000, $100,000. But if your personal credit is bad, terrible, or not up to par, then they're not going to give you that money. So that's the first thing I would say is have your personal credit in order, because that will make it easier for you to get access to funding for your business.
No, yeah, you're 100% right. Let me look at this question again and see what I can add. What advice do you have for someone looking to start their own business and achieve financial independence? My advice, considering that I just talked to you guys about my spreadsheet, is to look at your spreadsheet and see what it tells you. Does it tell you that you need to make an additional $1,000 a month to be a bit ahead financially? And then from there, you try to find a business that you can do to make that extra $1,000. So my advice is really to look at your spreadsheet and see what it tells you, and then try to see your calendar. Do you actually have the time to seek that business? Because a lot of people think that they're going to start something and it's going to be quick and easy money. Being a business owner is time consuming. Rony, you own your own business, yeah?
Yes.
It's time consuming. Everything has to be timed. On top of that, most of us, we have families, we have other engagements. Sometimes I tell my husband, I thought I was going to be working for myself, but really I work for all of my customers. And being in my line of work, I have to be available. People like me because I'm available. They call me here, they call me there. I have to show up and I have to be on top of my game. So biggest advice is look at your spreadsheet, look at your time. Do you have the time? Because if you don't, you're going straight for failure.
Well, the thing is, you have to make the time, because sometimes people would say, oh, you know, I have to find the time, I have to look for it. But, you know, you're not going to pick up a rock, find extra 30 minutes. You know, you have to make the time. If it's important to you, you'll find the time for it.
Yeah, that's good perspective. I guess you always make time for the things you want to make time for.
Yes.
But just keep in mind that when you're going to start your own business, you're going to have to value your time.
Yeah, I always say, you know, time is like currency. You have to be careful how you spend it. Like I say, you know, money, you can always make money, but once you lose that time, you're not going to get it back. So I look at my time more valuable than money. That's kind of how I look at it. It's easier for me to give somebody $50 than for me to give them 50 minutes of my time, and it's just wasting it. So you got to value it.
Yes, sir. Excellent advice. Next question. How do you handle and recover from financial setbacks or challenges?
I guess I can start with that if you want to start with that.
No, you got it.
You know, setbacks and challenges happen to everybody. I mean, even the most awesome person in the world has setbacks, slip, trip, and fall. But the most important thing is to actually learn from it. Don't look at it as a loss, look at it as a lesson. What have I learned from the situation? What can I do to position myself to keep from happening again? What tools can I use? What resources? What friends can I reach out to? And that's why it's important to have the right circle of people around you. Like, for example, for me, a long time ago, you know, my credit was bad. I didn't have nobody I could call. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. But now, fast forward like 10 years later, I have people calling me, reaching out to me day and night, you know, doctors, lawyers, school teachers, you know, pastors, you know, friends, families, because they have credit-related questions. So again, it's all about, I mean, everybody's going to slip, trip, and fall, but the whole point is you have to position yourself not to make the same mistake twice. and also have the right people around you. That way, if you do have a question, for example, like when your friends and family have a real estate question, they call you because you're the go-to person. So that's why it's important to be connected with the right people.
No, you're absolutely right. And to piggyback on that, you do have to have a strong circle. Personally, I don't have a lot of close friends, but anytime I need something, I think I have a good three of them that I always run everything by to see what their opinion is. I also have personal life mentors, and I also have business mentors. I run stuff by them. I also have a therapist. If something really is over my head and it's making me stressed out, talk to my therapist about it and see what we can come up with. Because in my real estate life, I know somebody had asked a question of how it works when you, what advice I have for people that own your own business. In the real estate game, yes, you're gonna make a lot of money, but there's also some months where you'd make zero. So you have to have a game plan for your mental health, how you're gonna handle that, because sometimes it's amazing. What else? So friends, mentors, therapy, and you gotta take care of your spirituality. I don't know if you personally believe in God, but I be at church. People don't know that, but on Sundays I be going to church. I be talking to God. So that's how I handle my financial setbacks and challenges. I'm very resilient, and anytime I have a problem, I'm gonna come up with a solution. I always have faith, and I always stay positive.
I totally agree. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Let me see if the chat has something for us. No, not yet. Okay. Can you share success stories or examples of individuals who have unlocked financial success following your guidance?
So one of my books is called Break the Cycle, You Don't Live with Bad Credit, which is available on Amazon. Basically talking about credit, how to fix it, how to manage it, the ins and outs. I had a friend of mine. She was in the process of buying a home, and just from reading my book, just from reading it, she didn't get none of my service, none of my products. Within 6 months, she was able to position herself to get for her first home just from reading the book. So the knowledge is very, very important.
That is awesome. Success stories, examples of individuals who have unlocked financial success from following your guidance. So for me, I think my biggest success story will always be my husband. When we got married, his credit score was probably, you didn't say how bad your credit was, but his credit score was probably lower than that. And I'm an immigrant. Came to the US, I'm trying to live my American dream, and that credit score was not going to help us. So we worked on, he had student loan debt, some past due bills, whatever. We tackled everything head on, and I am so grateful that he was actually listening to me, listening to my tips, because he could have been like, oh my God, this French girl don't know what she's talking about. She just landed here, But that will always be my biggest success stories, because at first when I bought my first home, I had bought it by myself on my own credit. But now we're able to do things together. We're able to join that income, join those credit scores, and we're able to buy rental cars, rental properties. We are really able to build that empire. So that will always be my biggest success story, I'm pretty sure. I do help people every day, but helping my husband and being able to live the life we live today is definitely my biggest success story.
Well, congratulations on that.
Yes, sir. So you know what? We went through these 12 questions we had received, and we also answered the one in the chat, and we have 21 minutes left. What would you like to talk about right now?
Basically, one of the things I realized when it comes to credit, a lot of people just don't understand how important it is and why they need it. Because, credit impacts a lot. It impacts where you live, what you drive, sometimes impacts what you eat. I would say there's 2 times you don't need credit: when you're dead or when you go to jail. They don't ever check your credit score for those 2 things. But other than that, you need credit pretty much every single day of your life. And then sometimes I come across people, they say, look, I don't need credit, I got money. And I said, okay, that's cool. And I put it in this perspective, credit basically gives you options. Because everybody don't like cheese pizza. Somebody might like pepperoni. Somebody might like pineapple. Somebody might like tomatoes. And it basically gives you options. So if you like options, then that's one of the reasons why you have to have good credit.
Yeah, and you can also leverage it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most important thing. You can leverage it. If you need $50,000 a year, you could probably go into your 401k. You could probably go into your savings, take out that $50,000. But if you got a good, excellent credit, you can go to the bank. They can give you that $50,000. You pay it back with little to no interest over time. You achieve the goal that you want to achieve, and you still have to touch your personal money. It gives you access to spend other people's money. That's pretty much what it does.
Yes, and you cannot partake in that if you don't have a good credit history, if you don't have your on-time payments, if you have too many inquiries. So that's why Rony and we keep pushing that agenda of fix your credit, have your finances in order.
And then one more thing too, because sometimes people will say, well, I don't really need good credit, for whatever case might be. But you have to look at it like this. Your credit not only does it impact you, but also impact, the people that you live with. It's impact your spouse. And it could impact the next generation. Let's just say it's 5 siblings, right? And 5 of them want to get together and start a business, but only one of them have good credit. Let's just say if the other 4 have good credit, now you could come together, create a business, create generational wealth, and that could impact the whole family. So again, when you have bad credit, it's not just impacting you. Somewhere down the line, it's impacting your loved ones, the people that you're closest to. So if you're in a situation where your credit is not where it needs to be, not only should you get it fixed for your own self, but you should get it fixed because it can have positive impact on the rest of the family.
Yeah, and an easy example is if later down the road you want to send your kid to college and you guys are a little bit short and you try to apply for a Parent Plus loan, but your credit is short, you won't be able to help your kid get that extra $2,000-$3,000 they need to go to college.
Yes.
So you're right, it does make an impact that's beyond just you. And some people don't even think about some other things that you need a good credit score for. Here in South Florida, even when you want to go rent an apartment, they have credit scores requirements. Sometimes they want no less than 650. Sometimes they want no less than 700. So like you said, that really impacts where you're going to live. Because if you wanted to live in that nice gated community with a pool in the middle, you won't be able to because you don't have that 650.
Exactly. And you also got to think about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
You got to think about it. And that's how the banks make their money. They make their money off people with bad credit. So when you have bad credit, instead of paying like 3%, and they paying 10%, 12%, 18%, bad credit costs you so much more. And some people don't realize that either.
Yeah, for sure. And another example I was going to say of people that ask for your credit that you might not know is insurance companies.
Yeah.
Because some people think they only need credit when they apply for credit cards, but when you go find a rental property, they want to see your credit. When you go apply for insurance, they want to see your credit, and that directly impacts how much you're going to pay for your premiums.
And even when you apply for certain jobs, you don't realize that certain jobs, they might not look at the score itself, but they look at your credit history. Because they just assume, because sometimes people just assume that if you have bad credit, that you're a terrible person. You can be the best person in the world, but when they look at that credit profile, it just says, hey, what have you been doing the last 2 years? What have you been doing the last 18 months? So like I said, it impacts, or your car insurance rate. It can impact where you work, where you live, how you eat. Yeah, there's 2 times you don't need credit. When you did and when you go to jail. Other than that, you're always going to need credit.
Yes, sir. And there's one thing you said that's very important is that you'll save a lot of money by having good credit. Mm-hmm. Even me as a real estate investor, for most investment properties, you'll have to put 20% down. But my credit is in the 800s. So I have been able to only put 10 or 15% down just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely some things to think about. Credit, it impacts people in so many different ways. And thanks to you, people can just read your book and be ahead of the game, you know?
Exactly. I mean, and that's what it's really about, that knowledge, because there's so much information out there when it comes to credit, and some people just don't know what direction to go. And that's what I did. I did the research, I did the studying, that's why I wrote the book, Break the Cycle and Live with Bad Credit, and then also the 10 Credit Commandments. Those are powerful books. And one of the things that I want to do, if anybody's watching this live right now, or we've been watching the replay within the next 48 hours, you go on Amazon and you Google you put my name in, and any one of my 4 books that pop up, you can request one of those books for free. But I have 4 books on it right now. So any one of those books that pop up, you just DM me or DM friends the name of the book that you want, and I'll send an ebook to you for free.
That is amazing, because even me being an immigrant, I would have loved to have that information as soon as I arrived. That should have came in my Welcome to America package, you know, because I had to do all that research by myself. After I graduated from college, one of my sorority sisters was like, well, France, if you're not going to go back to France, you need to get yourself a credit card and start building your credit. If she had never told me that, I don't know where I would be right now. Because she was so right. Everywhere I go, everybody wants to see what's my credit score, you know?
And one of the things I did was I put my name in the chat that way, in case nobody knew my name, Rony François. Yeah, like I said, just go on Amazon, type my name in the search bar, and I have the list of my books. And the cool thing about me is, like, when someone reaches out to me for one of my ebooks, that's what I send. I just send you the ebook. That's it. I'm not going to send you a whole bunch of other nonsense that you didn't ask for. I send you the ebook, and you respond back, thank you. I'll say you're welcome, and then we're going about our business. Because I just want to make this information available to everybody.
And that's amazing. I guess in those same lines, I have my Homebuyers University. The way I communicate the best with people is through videos like this. If you go to my university, you'll have a video on like how to improve your credit in 8 steps, how to pay off your mortgage faster. It's just me sitting there face to face with you and just giving you some information. It's important for me to leave a legacy that's going to live beyond me. Once I transition, my university is still going to be here, and people are going to be able to watch those videos and learn something that's going to help them with their future.
That's definitely cool. Yeah, that's cool. And then, and then offline, we can definitely chat about how I could probably make one of my ebooks available to your students or your customers through your university. Because again, I think these books could be a valuable resource to them. So could this be my way of giving back to you? I mean, I can make these ebooks available to the university.
I would love that. I would definitely love that, because right now it's all videos, but it would be nice to be able to email something to my mailing list. Like, here you go, a little treat for you, an ebook from Rony. Check it out.
Looking forward to doing it.
Same here, same here. Well, Rony, we have 6 more minutes. What are your final words of wisdom you want to leave us with?
Well, first, I want to say, thank you for doing what you're doing. And of course, congratulations on the university. Because there's a lot of there's a lot of gurus and experts at universities, but they're going to charge like hundreds, probably thousands of dollars. And, right now, university, you're making it free. I mean, of course, down the line, you might charge thousands of dollars. And right now, people should take advantage of that. Not too many people have free universities. So that's super congratulations on that. And like I said, the best tip I can give people is, take your credit seriously. Don't wait till you get denied a house or you can't get the car that you want, you can't live where you want to live. Take advantage of it today. And then that's why I said, like, these ebooks, I'm making them available to you for free. So you can't use that as an excuse no more. Take the step. Stop playing with your credit, and do what you got to do.
And that's great advice, and thank you so much. Because once you have that good credit, really once you understand how credit works, you can get your credit to where you want it to be, and then you can keep it there.
Exactly.
And that's basically wealth. Because then you can do it over and over again. You can do it for your daughter, for your son. You get the recipe.
Exactly. I totally agree with you. And anything I could do to help support you, just you can always reach out.
For sure. Well, Rony, thank you so much for everything. We will be in touch. I look forward to putting your ebook in my university, and I cannot wait to see what else we do from here.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
thank you for your time. Thank you for meeting us on this Saturday. I know you probably have a whole bunch of things to do. What else are you doing today?
What am I doing? Oh, one of my great niece's birthday parties this weekend. So I gotta go buy some gifts and do that. And then I'm gonna work on my next book. It's an autobiography that's gonna be coming out soon.
Nice. And are you going to, is it gonna be a hard copy or an ebook or both?
I always make all my books, all of them. I always make my books both hard copy and ebooks. They'll be coming out. And I got 2 children's books coming out too.
2 children's books?
Yes.
Oh, nice. I have to grab some for my daughter.
Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate the support in advance.
Of course. She loves to read. Listen, at bedtime, we have to read 3 books each night.
Oh, wow. Gotta make time to read.
I'll be reading.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
I'm sure she'll thank me for it later.
Yes, well, thank you. I appreciate everything that you do. And thank you for having me.
You're so welcome, Rony. On that note, I'll let you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Everybody watching, thank you so much for being here. Follow Rony on social media. Follow me as well, and enroll into my free university today.
Well, thank you.
Bye-bye.